Sweetie, how was your sleep?
Good. Pool party.
I'm sorry, what?
Pool party.
Pool party. Coffee to make. Can you make us special coffees this morning?
Am I the moon?
Yes. Your tummy's the moon.
You the cow?
What's up, Luna? You want breakfast? Alright, let's go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Let's go get it. So, got to get out to the garden this morning and harvest a whole bunch of things that need harvesting. I was gonna do this yesterday morning and video it and take you out there, but we had acting class and you know, my daughter is in preschool over the summer and we've got dance and we've got a busy life outside of our homesteading too, so we do have to kind of fit it in where we can. So instead I am bringing this video to you on a Sunday morning, or I'm filming on a Sunday morning after a Saturday night of a little bit too much wine. Anyway, it's a little bit later than I would have hoped to get up on a Sunday and get out to the garden. It's about 9:30 now. I always tell myself that I'm going to get up at like 5 or 6 in the morning or some ungodly hour to get out before it heats up and the sun really comes out, especially now we're mid-July and it's actually starting to get really hot. So I always tell myself the night before that I'm going to get up really early and do it and get out there, and it just doesn't happen, especially on a Sunday. We like to sleep, and so I'm just gonna get out there now, and it might be a little bit hot, but if I don't get out there now, that's gonna get even hotter, so we're doing it. And yes, this is what our kitchen looks like after a Saturday night wine night. Don't judge. Okay, so the first place we're gonna go is out to the side garden. Sorry for the noise. There's airplanes overhead and ducks in the neighbor's yard and chickens in our yard and a cacophony of sounds on this Sunday morning. So I'm gonna take you into the side garden and we're gonna be harvesting some basil this morning. So our tomatoes have been really slow this year. Everything's honestly been really slow to fruit or to produce anything just because it's been unseasonably cool and wet. So everything looks really healthy. The greenery, everything's very green and lush, but everything's been a little bit slower as far as fruiting this year. So the tomatoes are just starting to come on now. We're probably still gonna, have to wait another couple weeks for those, but there's a lot of basil that is definitely ready to harvest. So when you prune basil, when you're actually cutting it back, it actually will double. So every time you prune or you cut some back, and you can use it every time, so you're increasing your harvest because you get to use that basil, and then the rest that grows is going to branch off and actually double, so that you increase the size of your plant in the long run. You can see this basil here. This is just one branch. And it was growing up, and I actually cut the branch down here, and then you can see it actually split into two, and I could do that again. So up here, if I were to cut this one off, then right here is going to branch off. You can see the two little leaves there, and that's going to double once again. Okay, so now we're going to head around to the front garden and harvest what needs to be pulled out of there. What's it? Let's see. It's YouTube, not Instagram. this is our main garden. As you can see, it has started to really fill in. Mid-July is, you know, prime season in the garden, so most everything is growing well, and we are starting to harvest all sorts of stuff, or we are continuing to harvest things like our broccoli, for example, which I harvested the crowns earlier in the season, but if you leave the plant to grow, it will continue to throw off offshoots, so little kind of broccoli florets. So I'm going to grab some of those florets this morning. Whatever ones are ready, I'm going to harvest, and then the peas are kind of on their way out as well, so I'm going to harvest whatever I can that is still good, and then anything that is kind of too far gone or that's already dried up, obviously I'm going to leave and just let dry up and collect the seeds after.
Coffee.
Thank you, sir. Coffee. So next thing is some onions. Now the onions aren't all ready necessarily to harvest yet, but when I planted them this year, I plant onions from seed, and I haven't had a ton of experience growing onions. Like, we really only started from seed last year, and they didn't get very big. So this year I planted them all pretty close together, thinking that I wouldn't need much space and I'd probably have to save them over the winter time and replant them as sets in the spring. But as it turns out, certain varieties grow really well from seed, and so I've got some bulging onions right now that I have to kind of thin out in order for the other ones to be able to get really big. As you can see, these are our Walla Walla onions, and they've actually grown quite large from seed, but they're crowding each other out. So I'm going to pull a few of the larger ones and make room for some of the other bulbs to get bigger. Okay, so I've got my little onion harvest. I've left most of them in the ground because they're not really done growing. So these ones are a little bit smaller than I would like, but they are good enough size to use. And like I say, then it allows a little bit more space for the other ones to grow in. So the Walla Wallas, they're not a storage onion. They won't last all year. So these are the ones that we will use fresh over the next few weeks throughout the summer. So the last thing we have to harvest here today are the rest of the raspberries, or maybe not the rest of them, but whatever's ready here. They're kind of coming to a close. We've got most of the raspberries already. Can you get them? You see which ones are ready? Nice. Let's see. Oh, yummy.
Sweet.
Sweet. Can I have one? Find me a good one. Mmm, oh, delicious.
Okay, the rest of them are for raspberry crumble.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, so that's kind of most of what we need to harvest out of the front garden. There are some carrots that I'm going to need to harvest pretty soon to make way for some Brussels sprout transplants that I've got to get into the ground for our fall garden. We definitely have more that could be harvested right now. We've got our kale plant, which of course we can harvest from. We've got some zucchinis starting to come on. So pretty soon there's gonna be a whole bunch more to harvest out here. We've got a very large rhubarb plant just outside of our garden that I'm gonna need to do another harvest on soon. And then around the side of our house, we've got some potatoes that are actually ready for harvest too. So that's where I'm gonna head now. Okay, so this is the side of the house, and as you can see, we have a raised bed there with a whole bunch of potato plants that we have mounded kind of as much as we can, and then we've just kind of attached a string to hold them up because they got way bigger than I expected. We don't eat a ton of potatoes, so this is the first year that we've really actually gone kind of hard on growing them. Okay, and then you can see behind me, we had some more potatoes planted here. We harvested a bunch of them, and the back ones have just kind of died off, which I don't think they're gonna be doing much more growing. So I'm gonna go ahead and harvest the rest of the potatoes from this bed today. Okay, so I've got my nice little potato harvest here. So that pit stop is done. We've done our potatoes. I wanted to quickly show you something else that we harvested recently. And it's actually one of my favorite crops, and that is our garlic. Okay, so here you can see our garlic is all laying out to dry and cure so that it will keep throughout the winter months. So we harvested 56 head of garlic just a few days ago. That should be enough to get us through probably around, I'd say about 6 to 8 months, with saving a few to replant in the fall. So our garlic for us is definitely one of our favorite and most versatile and valuable crops that we grow. We use garlic in just about everything that we cook, but having enough to get us through a good portion of the year like this is huge, especially because buying this type of garlic that is all organic and locally grown, it's expensive. This is kind of a cash crop around here, quite honestly. So having enough for about 6 to 8 months worth and enough to replant a seed garlic in the fall is a huge win. So we did really well on our garlic harvest this year. So we've just got it laying out to dry and cure here so that it will keep. This is just the lean-to kind of beside our greenhouse here, hence all the crap that's thrown in here and paint tins and all sorts of other stuff. So it will dry and cure there for the next few weeks, and then we can bring it in and it will store well all through the winter. Okay, so our last little harvest of the day today, of course, is our eggs. We should have some eggs in the nesting boxes. Let's check it out. Oh yeah, there's some there. Oh, and some more over here. Okay, ladies. Okay. Let's see. 1, 2. Whoa, did you see this one? Look at the size of this thing. You can see it in comparison to the other one. This, I guarantee, that is probably a double yoker right there. That is something you are just not gonna find in the grocery store, my friends. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I think I can double count that one. 6 eggs in total, 1 double yoker. All right, guys, well, that concludes our harvest of the day. Obviously, there is lots more where that came from. We are smack dab in the middle of summer right now, which means we are getting harvests like this every few days, honestly. Obviously, different things that we're harvesting throughout the summer, but you know, it's on now in the garden. So that's our harvest for today. I'm gonna bring this inside. I'm gonna kind of preserve what I need to preserve, lay the onions out to cure and dry. I'll just throw the potatoes in the fridge. With the peas, I will blanch them. So the shelling peas, I will shell. The sugar snap peas, I'll just kind of trim the ends and blanch them quickly, and then we'll freeze those. And same with the broccoli, the basil. I'm either going to use fresh or hang to dry right now. I haven't really decided on that. And then of course the eggs, you know, we'll probably be eating. Well, I don't know if we'll be eating these eggs, but I'm about to head inside for breakfast, and I know it involves eggs because we have like 5 dozen of them right now. Because of course we're getting a harvest every day on those eggs. And then for the rest of the day, we're actually gonna kick back and enjoy ourselves. We got our little blow-up pool set up in the front. We're going to just enjoy a Sunday afternoon in the sun because yes, even homesteaders can take a break and put their feet up. So gonna let you go for now. I'm gonna haul this all inside and put it all where it needs to go. And I will be back soon to show you more of what we are harvesting, what we are preserving, and what our garden and homestead is looking like throughout the summer. Of course, if you like this video, then make sure to hit like and subscribe below so you never miss a video from the house and homestead. Catch you next time.